All right, welcome. My name is Adam Cothes. I am an agent out of the Seattle, Washington area. I run a small team. I sell a lot of houses, and I like to bring the fire sometimes with education. So I'm giving back today. I'm teaching business planning. This is my little spin on it. So you guys have probably never seen it done this way. This is going to help everybody, whether you're new or whether you've been doing this for a minute. All right, so what we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to look at what happened last year, or this year, I guess you could say, the year that we're in right now, and what worked, what didn't work, and we're also going to talk about what can we do next year. Now, for some of you who have been doing this for a while, you guys know the answers. Now, for some of you who have not been doing this for a while, I guarantee you we got some new people on this call. You're not going to know what's working and not working. So I'm going to give you some idea of what we do as a team and kind of give you a little bit of a roadmap. I will encourage you guys. Most of the time when I teach classes, we got a lot of people that take great notes and don't implement. So don't be one of those people, don't be an always learning, never implementing type of person. Let's think about this. Now, I'm going to go very quickly through this material. It's going to be too quick. And at the end, I'm going to have you fill out a class rating form. And some of you are going to say it was too fast. I get that. This is a roughly 1 hour. We might go a little over, but roughly 1 hour. And we're trying to cram in a lot of stuff. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to give you a packet here in a second, right here in the chat. I'm going to let you download it. And you can actually sit down without all the noise and fill this thing in, fill in your goals. So this is not meant to be, a friend of mine is doing a business planning clinic for 5 hours next week. Okay, that's not this. That's not what this is. We're just going to give you a roadmap and let you run with the ball, okay? So don't kill me on the surveys saying you went too fast. I know I'm intentionally going too fast, okay? All right, that said, let me give you guys the download for the workbook, okay? Now, if you have a printer, it would even be better to print it. So I just popped it in the chat. Click on that link. It is the same as, no, it's a little different than yesterday, Augustina. I actually shortened it because everybody was whining at me. So I tweaked it a little bit. This is slightly different, but it's not going to be drastically different. But you're going to want to probably download this one. Yeah, so I did this yesterday for our brokerage and I made some improvements. You guys get the new and improved version, which is great. All right. So let's, without further ado, make sure everybody has that on the screen. I'm just going to start rolling. All right, a little bit about myself. This is not going to be about me. This is not going to be about our brokerage, but I do want you to know a little bit about who's talking. So this is, whoops, going too fast. Adam, okay. All right, so this is my team that I run. We've got 6 agents plus myself, and then licensed agent who does kind of transaction coordination, runs my operation. And then we've got 6 virtual assistants, which I'm big on. And we are adding some agents. So we've been as big as 15 agents. It just depends. But right now we've got 6 hardcore, great people. We build our business based on open houses, online leads, cold calls. I'm about 50% referral, which I will kind of go into. And if you guys stay around till the end and fill out the survey, I will give you my 40 touch past client plan. So we touch our past clients through some kind of follow-up events, gifts, pop buys, pies, magnets, all these things that we do 40 to 46 times per year per family. So I'll give you that plan at the end if you stick around and fill out the survey. We do a little bit of door knocking. I'm not going to say like we're hardcore. We do a little bit. And obviously social media plays a role, but it's, in my world, it's not as big of a role. I know some people are hardcore in that sense. We're more prospecting based. This has been my career. I haven't been doing it as long as some of you guys. I just finished my 8th year, 60 million. And most of that was probably me and 2 or 3 people. We did add a bunch of new agents to our team. So hopefully next year we'll be at like 100 something million. I was with Keller Williams for the first 5.5 years of my career. I am now with eXp Realty. I joined in 2020. At that time, I was a solo agent with one admin, and then I added my first agent. I've had a team in the past that didn't really, I had to reboot it. So my first agent I added to the team was October 2020, was a showing agent, a salary-based showing agent that I paid a salary to. And that year we did 50 million, just the two of us, which was amazing. We did like, our price points are pretty high. So like 50 units, or was it 50 units? Something like that. All right. Let's see here. And then 60 million this last year, again, really with me and like 1.5 people. So we've got a bunch of good people now that are kind of getting their sea legs. So I'm hoping it takes off. It's a lot of work running a team. All right, so let's keep going. So let's talk about, so you got the packet, everyone download the packet. So you can't download the packet, let's see. Would it be possible to have the link emailed to us as well? I'm using a phone for this Zoom. Listen, if you can't download the meeting, the packet, just email me and I'll make sure you get it, adam@adamhometeam.com. I can't do it in the middle of the Zoom, but I promise you, the slides are going to carry you. If you're on your phone and you're driving or something like that, the slides will carry you. This is not meant to be perfect. You're going to go back later and have some quiet time and really think about all this stuff. Okay. So it's not gonna, it's not going to be perfect. Right. So let's see here. I'm trying to run like Q&A as well, which is kind of fun. All right. So let's talk about your wins for the year. So let's talk about this year. We're in the year 2022. All right. What were your top 5 accomplishments? What were your top 5 accomplishments? I want to know in business, you could throw a personal one in there too, but this is mostly business or things that you were a result from business. Did you hit a certain sales goal? Did you start building a team? Did you hire your first admin? Go ahead and put it in the chat. Did you, what did you do? Did you buy yourself a nice car? I sold my Range Rover and bought a really cool electric BMW. I grew up poor. My dad is an electrician. I grew up with nothing, absolutely nothing, and I donated a ton of money to charity this year. What did you guys do? That was amazing in your business. I added team members. We changed CRMs, which was a total hassle. We launched a new lead generation program. We started cold calling 4 days a week just because we're going to get ahead of this market. First investment property. I love it. Parted ways with long-term admin. I get it. I had to do that too. It's sad, but things happen. What else? What was a win? Come on, let's go. 10 million. Oh my goodness. I love that. Love that. That's so solid. So solid. Almost 200 listings taken, bro. The land machine in Texas. I love it. Became a success coach. So good. Wow. Everybody is doing great. For some of you, it was got your license. Put in the chat if you got your license in the past 12 months. Come on. Sing it loud and proud. Don't be ashamed. We all started somewhere. I was scared to death when I got my license and I had a job. I had a job. I had no money, man. And it was really hard to get the help I needed. Come on, sing it loud and proud. Who got their license in the past 12 months? Or do we have all hardcore old school people on here, huh? What else? Come on, nobody? No one's going to admit that they just got their license. That's okay. You guys can hide out in the corners. All right. Had my 2 highest price deals this year, over 2 million. Congratulations. I've had a couple of those this year. That's fantastic. All right. Anybody else? Come on, let's focus on what's working. Anybody else want to say something good that happened? Did you learn a skill? We'll get there. All right. What challenges did we face, guys? What challenges? Icon agent. Congratulations. That's a great achievement with our brokerage. All right, guys. What challenges did you face this year? Come on. It's been tough. It's been tough. Switched market centers, further from home. I get that. New productivity coach. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Lisa. Yeah, it comes down to the people. So, all right, what challenges did we face? Staying motivated, Jen, that's honest. Let's be honest, guys. We're not gonna, come on, Facebook makes it seem like everybody's always killing it. I faced financial pressure this year. I had my best year ever, but I spent too much money. Be honest with you, I had too many expenses. So even though I made the most money I've ever made, I felt a lot of financial pressure. How about you guys? Anybody feel financial pressure this year? Buyer fears? Type yes if you felt a little financial pressure this year. Anybody feel some financial pressure? Come on, let's be real. Okay, we got some financial pressure. All right. What about in March? You couldn't get a house for your buyers, right? Couldn't get a house for your buyers. Now we can't get buyers for the house. Okay. Yeah, I had a deal fall apart last week too. 2 days before closing, he walked away from his earnest money because he was scared. I got another one right now I'm trying to hold together with duct tape. They're supposed to close in 2 weeks. $20,000 on the line. I'm trying to hold it together with duct tape. Come on, let's be real, people. We're dealing with a lot right now. All right. And this is all in your packet, by the way. I get it that maybe you didn't all have your packet, but we're following along the packet. What lessons did we learn? What lessons did we learn this year? I learned that I need to be patient growing a team and don't go so fast that you run out of money. You got to chip away at it little by little. It's like I learned at Keller Williams, red light, green light, lead with revenue. Wait till the thing's making money before you spend the money. Like I always want to just throw money at it and then just, take over the world. You got to be smart when you're running a team. Be consistent. Valerie says, be consistent. Trevor says, difficult to win buyers in the springtime now. Lots and lots of extra communication to get basic deal. Yes. So the challenge is it takes more work to get a deal done. I'm going to add to that challenge that we need to lead generate more to get one good client. So we're going to talk about that. Whatever you did last year or this year, you're going to need to do more of it if you want to keep your income consistent. Going back to basics, patience and daily habits, more touches. Yes, all of that stuff. What lessons we learned. Okay, next, what skills did you learn? What skills did you learn? I've gotten way better at interviewing and onboarding and offboarding agents because we've had to run through people who didn't want to make the dials and didn't want to do the work. So we've run through a few people on our team. So I've learned to scrutinize who I let on my team. That's a skill I've learned this year. Better scripts. We've been practicing scripts 4 days a week. We've been cold calling, door knocking, open houses. I'll show you my exact plan later on, but this is something I made a change on about midway through the year. I said, God, we're facing a big change here. What can we do to save the day? A lot of my agents were focused on just my leads. And I said, man, we've got to do more. We've got to do more. So we came up with more of an outbound prospecting based thing. And of course, not everybody wants to do that. So I lost some people, but the people that are doing it are making money and they're all excited. So yeah, what skills? Prioritizing open houses. Very smart, Judy. You got to prioritize open houses. Why? Because the people that are coming through open houses right now, those are the people who don't care as much about interest rates. They're not as sensitive. They go into an open house, they know they're paying 7%. That's just how it goes. So open houses, in my opinion, are very important, and also paid leads, but open houses are very important. All right. Now let's think about this. You don't have to post this on the chat. How much did you earn? Okay, I want you to think about that. And we're not talking about gross, because if I show you my gross number, I'm in the 7-figure club, but my net was not where it should be because Adam spent too much money, okay? And that's the dirty little secret with some of these teams is that we spend too much money and it looks pretty on paper, but our profit margins aren't where they want to be. So what did you net? And don't embarrass people. Let's not put that in the chat, but what did you net, guys? Did you net enough money? Did you make, maybe you're a top performer. Maybe you made 700,000, 800,000. Maybe you made $1 million, $2 million. Maybe you're an average person and you made 50, 60, 70,000 and you're trying to figure out if this business is right for you, right? There's a lot of you guys who are trying to figure out, how do I crack the code, right? It looks so easy on Facebook, but it's not, is it? So how much money did you make? And how does that compare to how much money you earned the year before? Hey, 100K net first year, that's solid. You should feel good about that, Erica. All right, so how does that compare to what you made the year before? Maybe for Erica, that's the most money she's ever made. I don't know. Maybe she's jumping for joy. She's like, this is, I remember the first time I made 100 grand. I thought I was rich, man. But you can't buy a house in this area yet. So we need more. This area is so expensive. You got to get that. Let's double it, Erica. Double it. All right. Now, before we get into your business plan for next year, let's talk about what drives you. What gets you up in the morning? Went from bankruptcy in 2016 as a realtor to making more than I have in my entire life. Jason, that's where it's at. All right. When I got into real estate in 2014, I had just got rid of my 1992 blue Toyota blowing blue smoke. And when I got my license, I had $15,000 in the bank because I sold two houses. I sold two houses to my buddy, and I had $30,000 in debt. So I was a net negative 15,000 equity, and I quit my job and put it all on the line and went for it. I got rookie of the year that year, 2015. But man, it was close. I'm telling you, I don't recommend that for everybody. I'm telling people right now, if you've got DoorDash and Instacart, like, go make a little money while you're trying to get up, get your sea legs. Don't run out of money, people. All right, what's your big why? I'm going to tell you right now, real estate is hard. Can you post the handout again? Yes, sir, I will. Yes, sir, I will. This is the chat. This is the handout, guys. I just posted it again. You can download it. You can print it. I know some of you are on your phones. Email me if you need it, adam@adamhometeam.com. I will not do it right now in the middle of this call. But I will get it to you later. This is not meant to be perfect. You're going to go back later when there's not so much noise, and you're going to think, and you're going to ponder, and you're going to write down the plan. All right. So real estate is hard, but those who succeed push through. Something drives them. I'm going to tell you right now, knowledge is not necessarily the silver bullet. Getting knowledge is great. I'm all about knowledge. But knowledge does not separate the winners from the losers. Action is what separates winners from the losers. All right. So if you have all the knowledge in the world, like right now, you don't, it's like people don't even have to be on the team. They can go to YouTube and learn everything. But I am a big fan of teams because teams give you structure. And they give you accountability and things like that, and also leads and all that knowledge. But the thing that most people lack is not knowledge. Knowledge you can get your hands on. It's action. And it's not action once a day, or let's say once a month. It should be once a day. It's kind of like the analogy of chopping. I always tell people, generating business is like chopping down a tree. You go up to the tree. It's called open houses, and you chop, and then squirrel. You go to the next tree and you say social media, chop. Oh, squirrel. And you go to the next tree and it's called handwritten notes to my friends, chop. And then you look up and you're broke because none of the trees fell down. Well, guess what? Everything works in real estate if you work. So if you just stick with one or two things and you chop for 6 to 9 months, you will have some firewood. Because right now there's not a lot of firewood laying on the ground in the forest. You can't just go collect these easy deals. You got to go chop some wood, guys. So what is it that's going to get you up every day and drive you to be a top performer, or drive you to stay in this business and not go get a job? So often it's a product of how badly you want it, not necessarily how talented you are. I don't know if any of you, I'm going to date myself now, but there's a movie called Rudy where an undersized football player wanted it badly enough. He earned a spot on a college football team. I'm going to show you guys the trailer for this movie. Okay. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it will. Okay. Hold on. Pause. Okay. I'm going to drag this over. Boop. All right. So hopefully this works. Can you guys see TriStar on your screen? Say yes if you can see TriStar. TriStar, right? Do I have it on the, I'm sharing the right, okay, cool. All right, let's take about 3 minutes. I want you to see this.
Partner again.
Jason, stupid friend. This is nothing but you and why don't you play?
Since I was a kid, I went to school here. And ever since I was a kid, everybody said it couldn't be done. I always listened to them, believe what they said. I don't want to do that anymore.
Everyone is meant to go to college.
I need your help.
Why should I help?
I just want to be a part of this university.
The nuts.
You know, a lot of people have been telling me that lately.
He's a dreamer who just won't quit.
Oh, for the Irish.
I wish God would put your heart in some of my players' bodies.
5 feet nothing, 100 and nothing. You got hardly a speck of athletic ability. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself.
True story. From the creators of Hoosiers. Ready, Tim?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
All right, yes, I know the I know the video is choppy. It's an older movie. That was the best I could do. It's all good, people. All right, so let's go back to whoops, why is it going to start me there? Let's try to go back to where we were at. Well, I could just go through it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So all right. So what was, I just thought that was super inspirational. Rudy, R-U-D-Y, R-U-D-Y, Rudy. So this kid is totally undersized. And do you remember the coach said something interesting? He said, I wish that I could put your heart in some of my players' bodies. Okay. Yeah, Rudy, R-U-D-Y, Rudy. I wish I could put your heart in some of my players' bodies. I mean, that's real estate, guys. Yes, you have to be persuasive and all that good stuff, but unless you've been doing this for 15 years or more, I guess in my case, you know, I'm in my 9th year, but I've been prospecting. So let's just say 8 years, 5 years, at least 5 years. If you're doing this 5 years or more, you might be getting some referrals rolling in. But if you're on the newer side or you're not hitting your goals, some of you have been doing this for 10 or 15 years, but you're not hitting your goals, you want more, you're going to have to give it some heart. You're going to have to figure out a way to go meet new people, you know, generate some new business and don't give up. Okay. So I want you to think about that. A lot of people think that people that are successful are probably lucky or they know more people. I didn't know anybody when I got into real estate, really, except for a couple of people at work. And then after that, I was on my own. So, you know, it can be done. All right. So now what I want you to do, guys, is hopefully you actually play along with this. I want you to think about what is your why. We're going to just take a couple minutes and just do this exercise. What is your why? What motivates you to succeed in business? I want you to think about it. I'm going to get kind of quiet. Let's think about that. What is the thing that makes you push through pain? What is the thing that causes you to put up with rejection? What is the thing that causes you to push past your fears? Is it, do you have a chip on your shoulder? Do you want to prove something? Are you taking care of family? Do you want to send your kids to college? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a car? Do you want to not let somebody down? What is it that gets you up in the morning? Those of you who feel like sharing, you can share. You do not have to, obviously. What is it that, is it your family? Is it your kids? Are you trying to provide for them? Do you want to do fun things? Do you want to buy a vacation home? Do you want to travel? Do you want to give money to charity? What is it that is, what is the reason why you're willing to, is it the fact that you don't want to go back to that 9 to 5 and be told what to do? What is the thing that is motivating you? Who's willing to share what their why is? Who knows? Some people don't know. Some people have no clue what their why is. Some people want to pay off debt. Bradford Page wants to pay off debt. Erica wants to bring her family to the US from overseas. That's a big why. I bet you that makes her get up every morning. Staying out of the uniform that I wore for nearly 20 years. Okay. So some people are running towards something. Some people are running away from something. Some people don't know what they're running towards. Susie wants to get her husband retired and out of work. If you don't know what your why is, I'm going to encourage you to look up Simon Sinek's video, Start With Why. Let me see if I can find the link because it's a great concept. Start with why. Simon Sinek. All right, let me send you guys the video because this is a fantastic exercise that I cannot even do it justice, to be honest with you. Trevor says building something he can bring your kids into. All right, this is a video by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. It's an 18-minute video. It's going to help you guys really focus on your why. If you don't have your why clear, you're not going to make yourself do things. It's not possible. It's kind of like losing weight, man. We all need to lose a few pounds, but it's very, very, very difficult if you can't have a reason because the cookies are too good, right? The cookies taste good. Start with a why. And if you're not clear on this, I know not all of you are going to do this. You're just listening. You're not going to participate. Some of you are going to participate. Those of you who want it bad enough are going to go participate. Okay, that's how this works. Now let's talk about a vision for your business. What do you think your business will look like next year? What do you want it to look like? Not even about what you think. Now, I'm not talking about some pie in the sky. Last year you made 100 grand. This year you're going to make $1 million. Come on. I want you to be realistic, but I want you to be positive. The market doesn't control us as long as you're willing to work hard. So let's talk about what do you want your business to look like? And I want you to think about it. This is different for everybody. You know, it doesn't have to be 50, 60, 100 homes. I mean, that's great if you run a team or whatever, if you're just a top performer. But guys, think about it. And this is a personal thing for you. What do you want it to look like? How many hours are you going to work? And this is all in the packet. How many hours are you going to work per week? Are you going to focus? And I want you to think about this and preferably write it down. And if you're not going to write it down right now, then go back later and write this down. Are you going to focus on buyers? Are you going to focus on sellers? Is it a balance? Are you the kind of person that wants to work with investors? If your company offers revenue share or profit share or some kind of extra way to earn income, are you going to participate in those programs? What does your business look like? Yes, this is being recorded, Ron. What is your business going to look like next year? You want to take a vacation? Where do you want to take a vacation to? What do you think would be the best month to take that vacation? Who wants to take a vacation next year? Right? If you want to take a vacation next year, type me and the destination. That is enough to drive some people to work. Okay, Norway. Judy wants to go to Norway. New York City, Italy. Okay. Is that enough to make you go do some open houses to go to Italy, Eric? I'm not picking on you. Rose May, France, is that enough to make you go do some open houses? Cabo, I'll be in Cabo. Yes. Netherlands, Europe, come on. In the middle of a recession, look at all these people they want to travel in the middle of a recession. Well, across the country in one river trip with COVID, right, Trevor? Listen, you guys can do whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you, it feels a lot better to do these trips when you have money in the bank. So we got a lot of you want to take trips. How many homes are you going to sell? Right? How does that compare to last year? All right. So this is your kind of just a big picture. We're going to get nitty gritty here in a second. All right. So what did we accomplish? This is basically what we just did, right? Did we pay off some debt? Did we take a vacation? All right. And now here's what I'd like to say is if you achieve what you've been thinking about, you've been thinking about selling a certain amount of homes. You've been thinking about taking care of your relatives. You've been thinking about taking some vacations. You've been thinking about taking care of people that depend on you. How does that feel? December 2023, fast forward 1 year. You learned real estate if you're newer. You learned how to generate buyers from open houses. You learned how to do an event for your past clients. You generated buyers and sellers. You listed properties. You were able to post on Facebook pictures of you and your clients at the closing, with a basket. Like what did you feel? A year from now, you took that trip. You went to France. You went to Italy. You went to Norway. You did a river trip. You went to the Netherlands. How do you feel about your accomplishments? How do you feel about yourself and your work ethic? Right? How does that feel to be somebody who is winning, who is accomplishing, who is not taking from others, but rather adding to society? How does that feel? And I want you to kind of experience that moment. And this is a Tony Robbins trick. How does it feel? Experience that moment of you did it. And if I was in a Tony Robbins seminar, he'd make you start screaming. He'd make you, woo, woo, right? That's how you feel that moment. You give it a little energy. You give it that audible, yes, I did it. Okay, I know it sounds weird, but I need you to fast forward and experience those wins before they happen. All right, now let's get back to the practical. This is, before we build your next year's plan, we want to narrow down what is your focus. Now, this is a tool I came up with called the focus tool, okay? So we're going to ask ourselves, what worked well last year? And everybody, it could be different. When we say last year, I mean 2022. What worked well for you? We're going to also talk about what are you good at? So every year I keep a spreadsheet of all my transactions from the day I started, and I have a new tab for each year. And I can see how much money I made. Was it a buyer or a seller? And where did the lead source come from? And every year, what I really like to do is take a look at this list. And I like to say, where did my business come from? So this is what worked well. I just want to know results. Maybe I had to do a bunch of stuff I didn't like to do, like cold calls or something, but what was working? Because every year things change a little bit. The second thing I like to think about is, what am I good at? What is something I'm really I'm talented at? And then the third thing I like to ask is, what do I like to do? And for me, all those things come back to either open houses, cold calls, or running a team. Those are the things I'm good at and I like to do. Now, for you, it might be doing coffee with your friends, or whatever, or maybe shooting videos. It could be door knocking, or it could be farming your community and holding. A friend of mine holds a garage sale in her neighborhood and runs, is on those Facebook groups in the community and getting to know people. But the reality is, what is working? What are you good at? And what do you like to do? And in the middle, I call it a focus. So this is kind of a simple tool, because remember, you can't be the person that's like chop, 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 and you're chopping 5 trees, because no trees are going to fall. You can't be an expert at neighborhood video content, cold calling, door knocking, farming, and buying leads, teaching seminars, whatever else people are doing for business, right? You can't, past clients, you just can't be an expert at everything. So you need to pick something. So can somebody chime in and tell me, when you process this, what would your business focus be next year? What is that 1 or 2 things that works well and you like it? It doesn't feel like everything's work. We have to work. You're not going to escape work, but it doesn't feel too bad. It's something that you can do without burning out. What's that thing that you think you can do next year to survive this that's not going to burn you out, but it's effective? It's going to make you money. Melissa says expires. Augustina says open houses. Expireds, that's a skill that if it's done well, very few people have that skill. It's done poorly quite a bit by virtual assistants, unfortunately, but done well, you pretty much don't have a ton of competition. What else? What is that one thing? I know Jason is going to be working on that land stuff, right? What else? What is that one thing that you're going to focus your business on that works quite well? I assume some of you, it's going to be past clients. Nurturing farm. Okay, Kim says she's going to nurture her farm. What else? What is that one thing that you think that you've processed? You said, hey, I know I've gotten deals from here, 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 and here, but this is where I'm going to put my focus next year. Susie says she's going to move up to a higher price point in luxury market. Sherry says she's going to follow up with people she knows. Sphere of influence. Okay. So these are all very, very good things. So I just want, and again, you're going to go back later and hopefully spend a little time on this. Okay. We're going very quickly, I know. All right. For those of you who are newer agents, or maybe you're trying to reboot or think something like that, I'll kind of show you our plan. And now remember, our area is a little higher price point and all that good stuff. So for my team, we make education a priority. So minimum of 1 chapter of a personal development book per week. And then we watch these videos online about contracts, Washington State contracts. I personally think you should read more than 1 chapter a week. I used to read 3 books a month for years and years and years. We role play on a weekly basis. If you don't have a role play partner, that's a great idea. We role play on Zoom 3 to 4 days a week, where we're practicing what to say to people. And we also stay in touch with our past clients, because what's the point of going out to generate new business if you're not getting those referrals from past clients? All you're doing is giving up that future business to me because I'm cold calling them. So this is the priorities. The other thing is CRM. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you really should be putting all of your data and leads in a CRM. If you're not using a CRM, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. Having stuff I use a spreadsheet to track my basic business, but not for follow-ups and leaving notes and setting searches for people. You need to be using, most of your brokerages will give you a CRM for free. If you run a team, you probably need something a little more robust, but you got to be using a CRM and you need to be tagging it properly. For all the people that we like, we put event eligible so I can easily send out an event invitation. Like I'm renting a movie theater this month. In 2 weeks, we're renting a movie theater for Avatar, inviting people from our past clients for free. Well, the way that we're able to do the invites quickly is through a CRM. So if you're out generating business and you're not using a CRM well, then you really should probably spend the next month and get your CRM dialed in. All right. So my team, this is just my team. We use Mojo Dialer and we do neighborhood calls. I'm not calling the expireds and canceleds. We leave that for Augustina. Or for Melissa rather. So we are calling the easy ones, the people who are usually not too angry, and just inviting them to our open house or saying, hey, your neighbor's house just sold. Do you have any real estate plans? And so believe it or not, we get a lot of business from that, or at least future business, and 500 calls a week per person. And that only takes maybe 4 hours. It's really not a big deal. 2 open houses per week. And then I buy a bunch of leads. Pay-per-click I don't like the Facebook ones, and Zillow's too expensive. I used to do a lot of Zillow. I personally think it's way too expensive. It was like $1,600 a lead in my area. So we're doing pay-per-click leads, which is like $35 a lead. In your area, it could be $15. It's very affordable. I don't like the Facebook leads because they are more like aspirational. Imagine looking at puppies and kittens and babies, and then all of a sudden a home pops up and you click on it. I mean, you're not intentionally looking for homes. You're being interrupted looking at your friends' stuff. So I like pay-per-click, where they're searching homes for sale in Kirkland, homes for sale in Pittsburgh, whatever. I like pay-per-click. Now they cost a little more, but they are better. And so we spend a lot of money on those leads, and I have lenders that pay for half as well. So that's nice. And then Sphere and past clients, I've got a 40 touch plan so that we don't lose them. And then agents, in my world are making pretty good money even on a team. So, all right. So again, foundational items, CRM, calendar. I'm a big fan of putting everything on a calendar. I like Google Calendar because it can be shared in a team environment. But if I go to the doctor, it's on my calendar. If I get a listing appointment, it's on my calendar. If I need to pick up pies next week to deliver pies, it's on my calendar. So I love it. By the way, I really like a tool called Calendly, and it allows people to schedule time on your calendar. Those of you who stick around till the end, I'm going to open up a few slots if you need help with something. There's no strings attached. I'm not going to curveball you or anything like that. I'm going to open up a few slots if you want to jump on my calendar and ask me questions about teams or lead generation or virtual assistants or any of that stuff. CRMs, I used to sell CRMs. I've used every one of them. So I'm happy to help a few of you. I have a link to Calendly I'll give you at the end, and you can click on it and just grab a little slot on my calendar. If you fill out the survey at the end, you'll get my past client plan. All right. So how many hours? Let's go back to your plan. We're going back to your plan now. That was my plan. How many hours a week are you going to commit to work on real estate next year? Now, some of you, you're going to say 70 or whatever. That's a lot. I would say your first year, my first year, I was putting in 70, but I think that if you got your act together, you should be able to do it somewhere between 30 and 50. And if you're on autopilot and you've got a lot of referrals coming in, probably 20 to 30. I probably work, I work all the time, probably 50 or 60, but I don't work. I take time off too as well. So I would say, how many hours a week are you willing to commit to real estate next year? If you're putting in less than 20, I mean, you're really going to struggle. I would say, and how many hours per week are you willing to commit to lead generation? So let's say you're going to put 50 hours into real estate. And how many hours are you just going to go on YouTube or something? Are you going to be on Facebook? What are you going to do to generate business? You can do real estate for 50 hours a week and go broke. So how are you going to avoid going broke? What are you going to do? Are you going to commit to doing 2 open houses a week for the next year? By the way, you can still take time off. on the weekends if you did 4 open houses. We like to stack them sometimes and then take a weekend off. So 11 to 1 and then 2 to 4. You can do 2 in one day, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., 2 to 4. You can stack your opens and then move on and take a weekend off. So who's going to be brave enough to put in the chat, how many hours a week are you going to commit to do real estate next year per week on average? Some, obviously December is great because we can take some time off, but on average, how many hours a week are you going to work next year? And how many hours a week are you going to put into generating new business? Someone might say 40 and 10. That's reasonable. Someone might say 50 and 20. That's hardcore. So what are you going to put into real estate? Give me 2 numbers. What are you putting into real estate total per week? And how much of that are you going to put towards generating some new business? 40 and 20. That's solid. 50 and 10. Still pretty solid. Anybody who puts in 20 hours a week generating business, you are going to have a hard time not selling 25 to 35 homes a year. It will be difficult not to, unless you need to work on your scripts and your dialogues. 40 and 15, solid. That's a solid number. You will do fine. I will say this, however many hours a week you're putting into lead generation, I bet you could sell that many homes or more. So let's say 15, you're going to sell 15, 20 homes. Now, if you have a really good system and past clients and all that, you could do double. You could go 30 homes or 35 homes, right? If you say 20, man, I could sell at least 20 homes. If you had a really good system and past clients and all that, you'd probably do 40, 45 homes. If you're just an absolute, just kind of breaks the mold, you could do more than that. I would say at a certain point, you need help. You need leverage. You need an admin. You need a showing agent. You need probably a virtual assistant. If you had 1 admin that was full-time, 1 showing agent that was full-time, and 1 virtual assistant, there's no reason why you couldn't do 50 or 60 or 70 homes a year and keep most of the money. So that changed my life a couple of years ago when I hired a salary-based showing agent. It was life-changing. All right, so let's talk about your plan for listings. How many listings closed next year? And how does that compare to this year? If you have a spreadsheet to keep track of your business, you should know your numbers. You should know your numbers. How many listings did you close? What was your average price point? What was your listing volume? When I ask my friends, they don't know this information. And maybe you're on the call right now and you don't have a clue. Some people actually just say, hey, I just take care of people. I don't track it. I'm all about the people. I get that and I respect that. And I would strongly encourage you, and I learned this when I was at Keller Williams. That's one of the good things I really appreciate about them. They forced me to treat my business like a business. You need to know your numbers. We use a service that runs our books, and it's like $300 a month. And at the end of the month, I always have a profit and loss, and I know exactly what my profit margins are. I know all this stuff, and it's amazing to treat it like a business. How else are you going to plan for the next year? Or are you going to be the person that's just waiting for your phone to ring? That doesn't feel good to me. I don't like that. So we talked about what are the things you like to do? What are the listing lead sources you're going to focus on? And what specific actions will you take to generate listings next year? Who's willing to put in the chat, what specific actions will you take on a weekly or monthly basis to generate listings next year? Who's willing to be brave enough to tell us what actions will you take on a weekly or monthly basis to generate listings next year? We've got 53 people. Presumably, a lot of you know how to sell houses. So and I know some of you are in the car and you can't share. Who's willing to be brave enough to tell what you will do next year? We're making cold calls. We're door knocking a little bit, not a lot. We're doing like a little bit of door knocking. Open houses, you can get listings, right? Open houses 4 times a weekend and door knocking. That's pretty hardcore until you start actually generating enough business, right? You can do 4 for about 1 to 2 months. And then eventually you start having so much business that you got to trim it back because you got to go show houses Saturday morning, Sunday morning, right? Door knocking weekly around opens and listings. Trevor Gage is going to door knock weekly around opens and listings. Hey, guess what? Statistics show that door knocking is more effective than cold calling. The only reason I don't do more of it is because it's rainy and cold. The nice thing about door knocking is I had a friend of mine who door knocked 5 hours a day for 10 years straight. And he almost never, he said maybe 3 times in his life, somebody cussed at him. People are very nice to you at the door because something about human nature, you don't want to say bad things to people when they see your face. Online or on the telephone, you're going to hear a little bit more negativity, but door knocking, yeah, people are actually pretty cool. It's just a lot of work. All right. So let's talk about buyers. How many buyers, and this is all in the workbook I gave you, how many buyers will you close next year? What is your average price point? Do you want to raise your average price point? Go do open houses or go door knock in an area that has a better price point. I literally sold my house my second year in the business and moved to Kirkland because the price point was double. I was pretty hardcore about that. I just realized, you know what? It was actually triple. Price point was triple. And I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to sell my house. I'm not telling you to sell your house, but that's what I did. All right. Listing what? I don't know what, this should say buyer lead sources. My bad. That should say buyer lead. So what are the buyer lead sources we're going to focus on? Who has a buyer lead source? My friend, Ivan Grishko, he is doing coffee like twice a week with his past clients. Let's go to coffee. Let's go to coffee. And he's having great results. And he's saying, hey, that's my one thing. I'm just going to, for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to do coffee. My friend Kevin and Fred encouraged me to call 3 of my past clients every day for the next 90 days. All right. Well, I could probably get through everybody in 6 weeks if I did it that way, but call 3 people a day and just check in on them. How are they doing? I prefer to hold a movie event and then I call everyone. Hey, how you doing? Checking out. You want to come to the movies? I like that kind of call because it feels cool. I'm offering something for free. Pot buys. We're delivering pies next week for 3 days. I go to Costco. We order apple pies because they don't go bad like the pumpkin. I have some labels we print up. We stick them on there. Me and 2 of my team members drive around for 3 days. We've got it broken up into regions. We have a magnet calendar for the fridge that we put right on top. And the label also invites them to the movies. So I'm knocking out more than one thing at one time. But my buyer commitment, honestly, is mostly open houses. Open houses is where it's at, I think, guys. All right. Now, past clients. What is your plan to stay in touch with your past clients? I'm going to give you mine, right? But what is your plan? Most of my friends who are referral based are kind of just waiting for the phone to ring. Some of you post a video here and there on social media. I usually don't see people who have a wildly systematic plan to get the past clients. Now, we've all been taught to do this, but most people have not stopped to do it. Or you don't have an admin. If you don't have an admin, it's kind of a hassle, right? So you're like, I don't want to do all that stuff. You know, we're mailing out a postcard once a month. We have a home value market report email that goes out. We've got 4 gifts that go out through a certain service. We have 3 events per year, and then we call, email, text to invite them to the events. We have a handwritten note at the anniversary date. There's more I'm probably forgetting, but we have, you know, the pie delivery. We have all these things that we're doing. You could also call if you want to keep it simple. If you say, hey, that's overwhelming for me, you could keep it simple. You could call once a year and say, hey, I was just wondering if you would like me to kind of do a free evaluation of what your home is worth. I know I sold you the home 2 years ago. I was just thinking about you. How you doing? How's your life? How's your kids? I saw on Facebook you had a little one. That's so cute. By the way, would you like me to just run the numbers and see what your home's worth? See if you have some equity. Okay, cool. Do you mind if I just swing by and take a quick peek at the house and shake your hand and I'll drop it off? And then go to cloudcma.com and do a little cloud CMA. Like that is a great way to do it if you want to keep it simple and helpful. And I would say all of you who have been doing this for more than a year or two should probably do some kind of an event, at least one event per year. They're cheap, they're easy. You can rent out a movie theater in my area for $1,500. That's the cost of one Zillow lead. Give me a break. All right, now I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but some of you are in a brokerage that has a program where you can be compensated if you help other agents grow their business. So Keller Williams, EXP, I don't know if there's, I guess, there's a few of these brokerages where you can be compensated. Some of you do it, some of you don't. I make like 6 figures on this. This is a great program. I like it, but not everybody's. So if you're going to do this program, think to yourself, and let's not put it in the chat. I don't want this to turn into a big revenue share EXP thing, but think about what are you going to do if this is a program that you're participating in? Are you going to make this a priority? For me, it's honestly, maybe it's supposed to be 4 hours a week. I'm doing maybe 4 hours a month. Okay, so it's barely anything, but this is something I'm taking my own medicine and I'm thinking, how can I help other people, other agents, so I can grow this part of my business? It's all about helping other people. So this is something, if you want to participate in it, think about it, put it on paper. Are you going to hold a seminar? Are you going to have a newsletter? Are you going to teach a class or post interesting things on Facebook? Are you going to pick up the phone and just call and check in on people, see how they're doing? All right. All right. So we're kind of getting to the end here, guys. Some additional resources. So at the end of this booklet, if you look in your packet, I've added two tools. One is called a 1-3-5 business planning tool. It's a very, very, very simple way to map out your business. You say, I have one goal. What's your goal? More sales. Cool. What are my 3 strategies for more sales? Oh, my 3 strategies are open houses, cold calls, and calling my past clients. Cool. What are your 5 strategies for each thing? Right? And so that's what I learned that years ago. So the 1-3-5, I put it in your packet. The other one is called a 4-1-1. This is a business planning tool that a lot of people who are I think it's a little bit more systems than I want to do, but if you're really trying to track your business, you could say, hey, each month, we're going to fill out a 4-1-1. And you can also use this for your admin or direct reports. It's a great way to sit down and do kind of a one-on-one with people on your team, is the 4-1-1 and 1-3-5. Okay. I'm going to give you the class rating form now. And if you want to fill that out, you're going to get my past client playbook. I'm also going to post a link to my calendar. If you guys want, I'm going to do this for 10 people so I don't get overwhelmed. But if you want a few minutes of my time, we can talk about whatever. I can only do this time of year because I'm very busy. If you want help with lead generation, I'm a great open house guy. Love converting open houses. I have a class on it, in fact. Past client follow-up plan, choosing a CRM, hiring US admins, virtual assistants, showing agents, team building, so whatever you want to talk about, but just a few of you. So I'm going to put my calendar link and I'm going to put the rating form link. Okay. Actually, let's see. Let me post that right now. Bear with me. And then we are going to wrap it up. What did you guys think? Was this good? Give me some love. Was this helpful? You're going to have to go back. I know you're all going to tell me it was too fast. You're going to go back later and process. Okay. So it wasn't meant to be absolutely slow. All right, so go ahead. If you fill out the rating form, my calendar link is at the end. So you're going to get the link to my past client plan, and you're going to get my calendar link if you need it. So there it is, posted with Kevin's beautiful face. All right. I hope this was good, guys. So really, I guess the biggest takeaway here, don't drift into next year. Don't drift into next year. Think about it. Now, you might have to change plans in June. Maybe the whole market changes again on us, but don't just drift. Come up with a plan that you think you can work your plan. Just like everything else, you're going to have to pivot. But if you're just waiting there and you're scared and you're not making the money you want to make, that's a victim mentality. Let's be proactive. Let's take charge. And let's create a really good year. You can have a great year next year. You don't have to be afraid of the economy. But the only way it's going to work is if you face your challenges every day and you get up and you go generate some business. If you're just waiting for the phone to ring, you're going to have a tough time, okay? All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us today at the Next Level Agents Business Planning Clinic. Go make it a great day.